Welcome to another episode of P Practical, and in this episode I'll be talking about the DJI Osmo Action 5. And yes, I'm talking about it in 2026 when there is a DJI Osmo 6. So let's talk specs first. So this camera packs 4K footage at 120 frames per second, which is really handy. And this also is backed up by two OLED screens, which enables it to actually display front and back. So whether you've got it horizontal or vertical, you can see yourself and you can get a sense of what frame you're actually looking at. This thing is also waterproof. I've taken it into swimming pools, I've taken it into the ocean, and this thing has been completely fine. No leaks, no water, nothing in the screen, etc. The other thing this thing has is a nighttime mode, which is called super light, which is actually really good in low light situations, and there is a distinct difference. However, it does tend to draw on the light, so depending on where the light source is coming from, etc., may or may impact that final picture, and I'll show you some examples of that. Internally, it's got around 60 gigabytes of storage. I think you get about 57 of that to play with, which is pretty good. With 4K at 25p, I'm pretty much able to get just shy of 2 hours, which again is really handy for you. But you can upgrade the memory. You can use the micro SD slot, and obviously you can purchase one there. I put a 64 gigabyte card in there. That gives me 4 hours, which is generally more than enough. This can be paired as well with the DJI mics. I don't use DJI, I use Rode mics, so I've not been able to use that facility. However, the onboard microphone is actually pretty good and does a really good job. So you can buy accessories for this, and the good news is the accessories that work with this 5 actually work with the 6 as well. So if you are looking to upgrade to the 6, you can do so. Now, this camera came into my life in 2025, which is why I still keep it. And basically I bought this for my son. The reason being so is he saw me with the cameras on PSM Productions, and he decided that he wanted to get into it. At the time he didn't have a mobile phone, which he now has, which subsequently probably has replaced for him. But I actually really liked how durable it was with the case that it came with, and I wasn't really worried due to the price. I think I got it for about 330 quid on offer on Amazon when we purchased it. And that felt like a good price to pay for something that he didn't have a phone and he was able to basically record with it, and it can take pictures too. Now, what subsequently happened over time, I started using this myself, which is bad parenting, I know. But I took it with me when I was doing some projects for PSM Productions. And originally it was actually just being used to record me setting things up, just behind the scenes stuff, because I had no content on myself. And at the time I had two Sony a7 IIIs, and it didn't, using one of them with a 30-minute limit was one issue, but also, you're not around the cameras. The cameras can be anywhere around, behind you, and what I didn't want was those cameras to get damaged. So this piece of kit enabled me to set it up. The next use is for all the holiday videos that I've done. So this thing sits in my pocket, it fits really nicely into my trouser pocket or shorts pocket, even my swimming shorts. And with its sort of standby mode, you can literally pick it up really quick, press record, and boom, you're on the record. So that has always been a good option for me. I've thought about, when I went to Mauritius, taking the a7 III, which I had at the time, but I kind of fought against it, a 1,300 piece of kit. So yeah, this thing comes with me anywhere I go, holidays, etc. And the 4K that it produces, really, really good. So let's talk limitations. Now, this isn't specific because it's a 5 and a 6. This is just for me. And I haven't tried. Oh, look, there you go. That's the thing powering off now. So this will now go into standby mode. But the footage that it takes, despite being 4K, 25p, The sensor obviously, and the lens, it comes with a lens on it, which is 2.8, which is actually what I'm using right now, to be fair. But the lens doesn't, I don't know if it's the lens or the quality, but there is a difference and the colors appear different. So when I try to color match using this as a B camera, doesn't do a very good job. So that can be seen when I did the tattoo piece. You can see a very distinct difference between the quality of the footage for the close-ups, where you see the needles going in, versus the far away shots which were shot on this. And actually trying to color match in Final Cut Pro, it just had a complete wobbler. This is also very evident in the stadium footage that I took as well. So in that instance, I was testing my Sony camera versus the DJI, and you can see in similar shots, like the quality is just not good enough to be a final product. In the low light as well, it's a bit hit and miss. I reference it can draw on the lights that it's pulling in. And it's bizarre, like with the neon lights, when I was in the shisha bar in Mauritius, it just, like, I don't know, the pictures just blurred completely. The blacks were really black and fell into the colors, and it wasn't great. And in the end, I ended up using my mobile phone, which took much better video. And that was a front-facing camera on the HTC OnePlus 13. Sorry, I used to have a HTC. I've just come from Apple. The other limitation for me, which is no fault of the camera, is the microphone piece. Obviously, I've decided to go with the Rode Pro microphones, and these don't automatically connect, although I'm sure there is a way that you could through a transmitter or something. And that's probably the biggest thing for me. I reckon I could probably do more, because what it has enabled me to do is do a lot of vertical footage. So when you piece together the tripod with the camera, you can easily hold it in a vertical stance and film, which is really good for social media, Instagram sort of content. So in terms of future use, I'm still going to use this. It's very versatile, it's very durable, and it does serve a purpose for me, so I'm not quite ready to go and get something else. Action shots, you know, I've used this on top of a car, holding it with the tripod, which maybe not the best idea, but it actually took some really cool shots. And you know, I was literally holding the thing on the tripod like this and turning it around to get some of those shots that we took out in Mauritius. And like I say, I've used it in underwater, and I think not that I've done any sports things, but you know, an idea I've had is strapping it around a foot on a football pitch. I think it would cope with it quite well. It seems it's very durable, very solid, so definitely will continue to use it. I think there might be cases where I could even use this camera as a fourth camera because of the recording time. You know, like I said, you get 4 hours out of it with the storage and my upgrade storage that I have. And I think it'd be good to have for backup footage, especially like when you're doing a podcast and you have that main shot. I haven't done it yet, but I suspect that this camera will handle that really well. So there's definitely use cases for me for using it. So will I upgrade this thing to the 6? Well, the bit that does intrigue me is the 8K footage that the 6 does produce. That would be really the only thing that would tempt me. But one of the things I do want to see is if there is a new Osmo Pocket. So at the moment there's a 3. I've seen glimpses of a 4. Apparently they're talking about a Pro 4 coming out as well. Now originally I opted against the Pocket 3 because that's more for social media, more of a vlogging camera. And at the time I didn't think that that was something that I needed. However, the tracking situation, watching it with like some of the car videos and stuff that I've seen, perhaps maybe I could have perhaps got that one. So I think on this occasion I'm going to wait and see what happens. If there is a Pocket Pro 4, that might be where I go to instead of the 6, because I do believe that this DJI camera serves a purpose for me. I'm pretty confident I probably could have even filmed this episode on it. I just opted not to. So I definitely will be thinking about that before just going and upgrading. So in terms of lessons learned on this specific piece, there isn't really any. I think it works really well having the the Action 5 with a mobile phone on some of your more casual shoots. There's going to be times where you don't need all the cameras and everything out to do so. I mean, I have got my 3 camera setup, and 2 of those being non-main cameras that focus on video. So at the moment, this has been filmed with one of them to record the actual footage of the camera for this. But also, I see myself now probably using that a lot more with the S-Log and maxing it up with this main camera as well. So I think no lessons learned on this specifically. Now, in terms of filming this episode, there's been lessons. So tried to do a 3-camera setup, which didn't work. You were just seeing the top of my head, just seeing the afro, which is fine for some, but some people don't want to see it. So I opted against that. I then was trying to record doing multicam, but I kept on getting distracted by the second camera. So the second camera is here. Yeah, I just kept on getting carried away at looking at what that camera was seeing, etc. So what I've opted to do is record this part, and then I'm going to record the B-roll footage, whatever the kids want to call it today. I'm going to record that separate to this and then basically cut it in top. So yeah, that's the lessons. So thanks for watching another episode. Short and brief. Main thing is, I guess, would I purchase this camera in 2026? I don't know. Depends on budget. Depends on use. This camera is going cheap. You can now get it for under 300. Now it's about 279 on its own. You can get it for 295 with a pro kit. So yeah, I would consider it. But I guess for me, I would just wait. That's what I'm doing. So if you're on the lookout for this kind of camera, B camera, I'd say wait until the next pocket camera comes out. Make a decision based on that. What is your best use case? So that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace.